Okay, today we're going to talk about lines, line segments, and rays. So there's a couple definitions that we need to talk about first. So a point is a location in space. So it's a dot and it's labeled with a capital letter. So the people that talk about geometry really like capital letters. So we are going to label this with a capital letter. So this one is point A. We could also have point B, point Z, anything like that. So if I were to draw a point and then label it, I could label it point R. And that would be point R. Okay, this is called a line segment. So a line segment is 2 points and it has a straight path in between them. So this is line segment AB. So we can see that the path goes between the A all the way over to the B. Now, in the other direction, we can also talk about this as line segment BA, because this line also goes from B to A. So there are 2 different names for this. We could name this line segment AB or line segment BA. And the way that we indicate that, or the way that we write that, is we write the 2 capital letters of the points, so AB, and then we put a little mini line segment above it. So that would be line segment AB, and this would be the way to write line segment BA. So we put a little mini line segment above it. So if we look back at line segment, see how it ends at the points? This is a line. So a line is a straight path between 2 points, but the difference is that it goes on and on forever in both directions. Line is going to go on forever and ever in both directions. So that's why the arrows are there. So we have line AB, but we could also refer to this as line BA. So again, we're going to write AB, and then above it, we're going to write a little mini line. So a line with 2 arrows on it. And then the other way, remember, we can name this is line BA, because we can go in either direction and it's the same line. So the next one is a ray. So a ray has 2 points. Uh-oh, I don't know where point B went, but point B would be right here. Goodness, it disappeared on us. So a line goes on and on in both directions. A ray only goes on in one direction. So we have A as our end point, and then the line is going, the straight path is going past B and it's going to keep on going on. So that's a ray. Now, the difference with naming a ray is that you have to name it from the end point first and then to go out into where it goes on forever and ever. So the only way to name this would be ray AB, and we would put a mini ray above it. Now, in this case, our end point is over here, and our ray can be pointing in any direction. So if I had this ray down here, let's say it was ray CD. So my end point is C, and my other point is D. So it would be ray CD. Okay? Now, if we look up here, let's say our 2 points are here and here. Let's do R and Z. They don't have to be sequential letters, like letters in order. They could be any letters, any combination. So we have R and Z, or Z and R, but we're going to look at our ray and make sure that we're starting with the end point over here with the R when we're naming it. So this would be ray R Z. Okay, so even though looking from left to right, the Z is listed first, remember we're going to do the end point first. So that is the definition of a ray. So there are a couple of different combinations here. When you are talking about 2 lines, there's a couple of different ways that you can talk about them. Parallel lines are lines that are never, ever, ever going to intersect. So these lines go on forever and ever in both directions, right? This way and that way. Now, these 2 lines, even if we extended them on forever and ever, they would never intersect or come together. They would never cross each other. So these are parallel lines. You also see these in different shapes. For example, a rectangle has a couple sets of parallel lines. So we have parallel sides. So this side over here is parallel to this one, and this one is parallel to that one. So you can have parallel sides as well. Intersecting lines are lines that intersect or cross each other. So our point of intersection is right here where they cross. So those are intersecting lines. Perpendicular lines are also intersecting lines. They're just a special type. So they intersect at what we call a right angle. And a right angle is equal to 90 degrees. And it's indicated in geometry by this little mini square in the corner. That way you don't have to measure it. You can look at it and know that it's 90 degrees. You'll see a 90-degree angle in the corner of a square or a rectangle. So that's how this is a 90-degree angle right here. And actually all of these are going to be 90-degree angles. So that is perpendicular line. These are all the definitions on one giant page. So if you want to pause and take a look at them all together, you're welcome to. So sometimes you'll see an item and it'll ask you to list all the names for this. So this is what type of an item? If you said line segment, you are right. So this is a line segment. So we would list this line segment as line segment AB. And remember our little mini line segment above. And also line segment BA. Just like we did before. So that's our line segment. This is a ray. So we're going to have our ray. We're going to list our names for our ray here. Remember, we have to start at our end point. So ray, KO. And we put a little mini ray right above there. So ray, KO. These are different points. So this would be point R, and oftentimes they don't, they'll list them. If they're saying locate point R, they would just write it as point R. And then we also have point E. And remember our capital letters. And then we also have point H. So we have 3 different points on this page. All right, this is a line. So this is line, you could say JS with a little mini line here. You could also say line SJ. Okay, so don't forget that little mini part at the top because it indicates what type of item you're looking at. Okay, so this, sometimes they'll give you instructions and say to draw certain things. So draw ray TG. So we're going to draw a ray. So let's get a there, and we can make it in any, I could make it down here, I can make it up here. Let's go like that. So that's a ray. We now need our points on here. So I've got 1 point and another point. And this is ray TG. So my T has to be my end point. And then they're saying that it's parallel to line UD. Now my tools are a little tricky because it doesn't let me do lines with 2 arrows. So parallel, so I've got parallel line there. Whoops. And we're going to have to draw our own arrow on this side. So parallel meaning that they're never going to intersect. And I have to draw my other arrow over here because my tools on this device won't let me do it. So now I have an arrow on both sides. So it is a line. And then I need my 2 points. So here's a point and there's a point. Now it's line UD. I could do UD like that. I could also, oops, I ended up deleting my dot. I could also do line DU. Either way, that's the same. So these 2 items are parallel, and I have a ray on the top and a line on the bottom. Okay, so in some cases, we have an item that looks like this. So this is a lot of different things. So in this case, we're looking at what are the different ways of naming this. So we have point A, B, C, and D all on this item. So is this ray AC? Yes, because if I look here, we've got ray AC, right? So we've got A and C on a ray. A is still our endpoint. C is on that ray. So that would count as ray AC. Ray DA. No, it wouldn't count for that because D right here is not our endpoint and it doesn't go on forever over here at the end of A. Okay. Line BC. No, that wouldn't count as a line because it would have to go on forever and ever on this side. So that does not count as line BC. So this one right here is false. Then we have ray AD. So ray starts at A and goes all the way over, and D is on that ray. Yes, so this one is true. Then they're asking, what about ray CD? So we've got a ray. And could we start the ray here instead? Actually, I'm going to draw this a little differently. Could we start our ray at C and it would still go on and on forever, CD? Yes, that would work. It's not including all of it, but does this still make it true? If C was our endpoint, would it still go on and on forever? And the answer is yes. So we have our next one, which is ray AB. So ray starts at A at our endpoint, going on forever and ever. And yep, B is certainly on there. So ray AB would be true. All right, two more. Ray BA. So if we were doing ray BA, it would have to look like this because B would be our endpoint and it would go on and on forever through A, which is not true. So that statement is false. Last one, ray BC. So if B was our endpoint, it would go on and on forever through point C. So yes, that one is also true. So you can see that you have, even though you have one item, you can name it in lots of different ways. This is another example of what we were talking about. So it says draw line segment RS so that it is intersecting line segment YZ. So we have two line segments. See how they both end here on our ends of each of our line segments. And we have line segment RS and it's intersecting right here. It's intersecting YZ or ZY as a line segment. Okay, so we are done. Thanks for listening. Have a great day.